Welcome to Near West Side, Milwaukee's finest community. A great place for you and your family to learn and grow, to have stability. And truly the love the people. We strive to have the best place to live, to learn, to love. So we are called the neighborhood of neighborhoods. Please follow, like, and subscribe.
Hello, I'm Keith Stanley. I'm the Executive Director of the Near West Side Partners, and I am. It's a privilege and honor to be joined by two wonderful people that I've known for many years who are really trying to make some things happen when it comes to the city of Milwaukee, specifically when it comes to employment. So I'll start off at the top. Courtney, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, thanks, Keith. I'm Courtney Kelly, Program Coordinator for JobUp Milwaukee, and I work at MATC.
And then Katrina.
Hi, I'm Katrina Crane. I'm the Director of Workforce and Business Solutions for the Menomonee Valley Partners.
And so the reason why we have these two wonderful people here today is that there are opportunities abounding. You hear it all across the city, all across the state, the country about employment. People are looking to hire. People are looking to get folks back to work after we've been through this pandemic, but it's so much more than that. There are not just employment opportunities, there's career opportunities, there's training opportunities, certification opportunities, educational opportunities for you to make that money, get them dollars growing. And so we have Courtney from MATC JobUp to talk about some of the opportunities here. We have Katrina, who's closely, her and I are closely related as far as the work that we do, as far as a business improvement district. And she's going to talk about some of the stuff that's happening with the bid. And what I would say, the time is now for those who want to advance in their career. They want to advance in their education. There's people are looking to pay people livable wages, which is really important. So we're talking about real careers where you can actually be able to pay your bills and take care of your family and take care of obligations. That stuff is so important. And a lot of this, it's free educational opportunities. And so we really encourage you to take this time to listen to some of the things that they have to say and that I'm gonna try to add to, and know that the opportunity to work, not only work in the city of Milwaukee, but work in your neighborhood is right now. So with that said, let's talk about this educational piece. Before we get into all the job opportunities, Courtney, what's up with JobUp? Why is education so important?
JobUp, and we'll get more into the nuts and bolts of it, but I just want to hone in on your first question. Why is education important? It is definitely important to get your education, whether that's through, degrees, certification, trainings, diploma programs. There are many options that you can get an education from. It ties into the opportunities to, grow up the career ladder and get better jobs. We had the discussion, there's a misnomer out here, you don't always need an education or you don't need to go to college. Maybe that education comes from short-term training, or maybe you are attending MATC. We are a technical college where we have some short-term programs where you can get your degree, certification, or diploma programs. These are opportunities and skill sets that employers are looking for. So education is definitely important. Many employers we work with, they're looking for people with skills, with certifications and trainings to show that they're willing to grow in the career paths that they are looking to hire them in. So definitely something that people need nowadays.
So Courtney, let's hop right into it. So what is this JobUp opportunity? I know you and Katrina have been talking about this. We've gathered and talked about this before. What is JobUp?
So JobUp is a program where we are working with local employers, and specifically those that Katrina works with in Menomonee Valley. We also have another business district, Havenwoods, which is on the far northwest side. But we work with these employers to help fill their gaps in employment or help fill their employment needs. But we then use students who are studying these fields to fill those positions. It offers an opportunity for people to get experience before they graduate, but then it also offers opportunities for residents in those areas, from your area, Near West Side Partners, Menomonee Valley, who are residents, to get into these jobs and maybe live and work in their own communities. They can also then return to school and get that certification that maybe they never had or that they desire to get. So it's an opportunity to job up, kind of ladder up in their career field. We intentionally ask employers, is there room for growth? Is there room for pay increases? We have seen a lot of people get just entry-level jobs and get stuck there, or work with, temporary jobs, and nothing against those, but sometimes people do that out of haste and not because it's trying to create a career path. But we want people to want the desire to grow into that field. So job up is kind of just that term. It's jobbing up in that career field, growing in that career ladder, and making sure people are getting the proper skill sets, and also helping employers get the right candidates.
Katrina, Courtney, that's so helpful. Katrina, I want to go to you though. And before I even talk about the do's and don'ts, the myths, and some of the things we've got planned up, let's just talk about your role. I know what you do because we do somewhat similar thing. Tell me more about what you do.
So I'm the Director of Workforce and Business Solutions. So basically I serve as a extra person to all of the 150 businesses that are within the Menomonee Valley to help them with their workforce needs and how to develop their business in whatever way they may see fit. So they reach out to me as that extension of an HR department, if you will. So some of the things that they talk to me about are things like this: how to develop partnerships that's going to help aid us in our recruitment and our retention of workers. And so throughout the year, I come up with training opportunities and engagements that are not only for the businesses, but also for the employees. Also thinking through how they would recruit from the community. So things that we've done in the past together as a partner is hosting job fairs within the community, because the overall goal is to get individuals the residents who are living in the Near West Side Partners area to be employable in the Menomonee Valley area. We don't have residents actually. And so we look to our neighborhoods, to our both of our bluffs, in order to fill the positions that we have available. And I can actually jump right into, the fact that where we're located so that you guys kind of understand that, because we're directly in your backyard. We did an event not too long ago with some of the residents of Near West Side Partners, where we found that many didn't realize that we were a direct neighbor. So we're literally in your backyard. So our boundaries extend from the I-94 area, which is the boundary that we actually share, and then goes down to the Harley-Davidson Museum to the east. On our southern boundary, it kind of snakes around. So it's the industrial areas of Bruce, Virginia, and Pierce Street. And then we come back around in the area that's near the AmFam field. So that's, 175, that's to the west. So it's over 150 businesses that are within that area. And I just want to say that most people think that it's only industrial. It is definitely a lot of manufacturing opportunity, but there's also engineering, customer service, automotive, hospitality, water industry, environmental. So the career pathways are really endless. That you can find. And at any given time, there's over 250 positions that are available right now because of the need. The need is really, really great. So when you look at some of the things that Courtney just stated, not only is it just great opportunities for careers, but it's the great opportunity to lay a career path. Right now, you can actually kind of lay out, this is what I have a goal of doing, and these careers and the training opportunities like this at JobUp is going to help you get there.
Katrina, do you mind kind of just name dropping, kind of just for recognition, some of those companies in your area?
So some of the companies that are recognizable that many people would know, like Aurora's administration is in the Valley. You also have Potawatomi, which a lot of people actually know, the casino. You have Palermo's, Rexnord, Komatsu. Those are some of the bigger named companies. But then you also have the engineering firms, like I said, Zimmerman, Harwood, EMCS. I mean, there's lots of those. And then, there's some of our smaller businesses. If that's your thing and you like the cultural fit of a small business, we have call centers like with PPS, and there are many retail outlets that are along St. Paul. It's our design decor district. So there's so many different ways to connect again from the workforce perspective. And there's so many different types of businesses.
That is so cool to hear. I like the diversity of the businesses. So people are interested in making career changes. There's this opportunity is now. And what fascinates me about what both of you are saying is that, going back to what I said, the time is now. For those who really want to make a career change that really bring home money that's going to sustainable, like if you get the education, get the training. Now you got a job that's going to be with you for some time. And I think that's really important and exciting. So Katrina, I want to go to you again, and hopefully Courtney, you could chime in too on any one of these things. I want to talk about the do's and don'ts. I'm gonna kind of talk about some of this stuff. Hopefully you both made a chime in. Do's and don'ts, we talked about becoming stagnant. Courtney, you mentioned it earlier. Just being stagnant is an issue. Both, Katrina, you want to start us off? What do we mean by that, and how we might be able to get people to overcome that?
So many people get, into jobs, and they're at that same entry-level job for years, for decades. Now, some are doing that by choice. I mean, and if that's your thing and that's what you want to do, definitely stick with it. But if you're at an employer and you feel that, you can't move up or the opportunity isn't there, I'm not thinking that you're going to find a lot of that in the Menomonee Valley. We're looking for those who are entry-level candidates, who are shapeable, who want to learn, who want to grow. And honestly, I mean, the starting wages are, at $15 an hour for most of our jobs in the Valley. And so again, if you want the opportunity to grow, you get into these jobs, you share that, and make sure that your management understands that the opportunities are available for growth in many of our companies.
And just to kind of add to that topic of being stagnant, definitely, like Katrina said, it's about, growing yourself, even pushing yourself. A lot of students that we attract, we utilize the term non-traditional. Non-traditional for us might mean that we don't have the typical 18-year-old. We have people who have returned to school, or, in their late 20s and 30s, who are our students at MATC. So they've already kind of taken that risk of, I want to get my education. So just also knowing that, you're not stagnant with not going to school and getting your education. And we have, online classes now, evening classes, and JobUp also works with employers so that they can provide the flexibility and recognize that these are students, and we want you to allow them to complete their studies as well so that they can work and go to school. So just even those type of things of, life changes, being open to maybe doing those things differently to get those career goals.
I know you both hit a little bit on this already, but we look at waiting for opportunities, waiting for the boss to recognize you, waiting for a job, the perfect job to come your way, waiting for somebody to tap you on the shoulder to say that you should move up. When you think about people waiting for opportunities, and Courtney, I'm going to start with you. How do we get people to think differently? To me, there's no time to wait, man. Money, there's money to be made, and I mean, real serious take-home cash that you can pay your bills. And so, what's your thoughts on that?
You're right on point, just leading me into saying, like, these times we're in, if people haven't recognized, it's different. Even in the employment lane, it's different. Employers are still hiring. There's like a big need for workers. So again, those opportunities are there. And if people need to get the skills to get those better jobs, the credentials, whatever it is, utilize those opportunities. There are a lot of things that employers are offering now, even as incentives. And some have, Katrina probably can even speak more, but some have even analyzed their pay rates, and pay is better than it has been before. So, utilizing all those opportunities, and people like all of us here on this Zoom call, we're all a resource. People have to look at that as an opportunity. Katrina mentioned like some competitive employers like Aurora, Potawatomi, and more. Maybe it's very competitive by yourself to get your foot in the door. Utilize the resources like JobUp, Menomonee Valley Partners, MATC. This is how we're able to help you get your foot in the door at some of these jobs. So definitely, I think people, it's kind of that self-motivation, seeing what's out there, and, as they say, you snooze, you lose.
Yeah, it's just a good time. Right now, I've been amazed by not only the amount of opportunity that's out there, but what businesses are willing to do to support employees who have shown initiative and want to do these things. And that's why I say, don't wait for the opportunities. The time is now. Because for those of you, again, just talking back about the JobUp program, how many opportunities do you get to get a flexible work schedule? A company is going to, first of all, pay you at minimum, again, $15 an hour, depending on whatever career choice you decide to go into, allow you to work flexible hours so that you can complete your course of study while you're on the job and learning about it and maintaining your family. but then to say, once I complete this, that you're going to invest in me over these next 2 years to help develop me, support me, and grow me, so that once I'm completed with this, now I can move up or level up into the next pathway. You're not going to find a lot of those opportunities anywhere, but it's now that this is available. And now is the chance to get into that and actually experience that and know what that feels like. Because I do hear constantly that many feel that companies aren't looking at how to grow them. And this is a program that is stating that if the whatever company that's partnering are the companies that's saying, I am investing in you and I want to see you grow because I see the potential. So realize that and take advantage of it.
I just wanted to add one more thing. We're talking about opportunities, and another thing that's really great as we're working with students and definitely potential residents from your areas, we talk about the opportunities to return back to school. And those might be things that we offer here at MATC, like our Promise program, which can offer free tuition, so those are opportunities that are out there. We have things called credit for prior learning. So those are for people who have had life and work experiences that might count for some credit towards classes that they may not have to take. So there are many opportunities that we try to package to people, because we know that returning to school can be, a huge alteration maybe to just your definitely work life schedule, but we want to make sure we let people know about the opportunities to kind of ease their mind about the transition.
Well, this is really exciting. Reminds me of the story about the grasshopper and the ant, I think, where, a lot of people just enjoying the time we have now, but it's like, if you prepare right, when winter comes, you're going to have all you need to be successful in your life. And so I know we talked about being stagnant. We talked about not waiting for opportunities. The last things I want to touch upon, Katrina and Courtney, would love to get your insight on this, just being bold. And I think this is important because we as people of color, a lot of times, whether we're women or a person that's been impacted by poverty, just a person of color that's not used to opportunities. There's so many isms and things you can put in there and gender issues that we don't step up to the plate. Like, you know what? Let me take on the extra responsibility. Let me take on this opportunity to get education, to get a certification, to get training. And so if you can't talk to me about, what would you tell these people? Like, listen, you know what? Yes, embrace who you are and embrace these opportunities, because they won't be here forever. And you can miss out making, over a lifetime. I hear that with certain certifications, you can make $1, $2, $3, $4 million more. And it seems like some of us aren't being bold enough. So any thoughts on that? Courtney, I'll start with you.
That statement right there, be bold. Be bold to get out of your comfort zone. Be bold to take on the new opportunities, maybe working in places that aren't familiar to you, or not letting it be a barrier. Like you said, if you're a person of color or the youngest or a woman, those things might happen. Depending on the industry you go into, it sometimes comes with it. But how bold are you to take on that opportunity and focus on building your career?
And just realize that, until you're bold enough to really say to yourself, this is what I want, this is what I desire, and how do I create that pathway for myself, you won't get what you actually want. So once you actually decide that and realize again that these opportunities are right here and in front of you, and that there's resources that's going to help you lay that path, you're never going to know. So this is, again, I'll keep stating it. It's the opportunity is now, the time is now to reach out to either my organization, Courtney's organization, to learn more and figure out how to partner, to get into these opportunities. It's going to help you more than in order to understand what career pathways are out there, what's right here by your home that you could literally get to within a matter of minutes, and build your career this way. So the opportunities and the what's of this program, of the JobUp program, from between myself and, again, Courtney, the opportunities are endless.
So let's take it on. We almost there, wrapping this up. I got two more items I want to discuss. One, I want to talk about myths. And once again, Katrina and Courtney, I'm kind of like a hot take. I'm going to go throw a myth out there. I need you to help me combat this myth, okay? And we go as quickly as possible through this before we wrap this up. Let's talk about myth number one. Good jobs don't exist. Katrina?
That to me, it's such a myth because I'm seeing it every day. So like I've been saying, honestly, again, the organization I work for is Menomonee Valley Partners. If you visit our website, thevalleymke.org, there's a work link. You're going to see, again, more than 250 jobs that are available when you're looking at all those different companies. And you're going to see that good jobs do exist, good paying jobs with great benefits, with opportunities for training and advancement. You're going to see all of that that's there. You're going to see different companies that maybe have different cultural values than and you want to look for certain things. You can actually see that even on their websites, but you can also ask those questions. There's so much that's going on right now in order to make sure that new employees actually feel a part of the team. And I know that I get that often. It's like, I don't see a place that I can fit, but are you actually putting yourself out there to figure out what places you fit in? And so, knowing that these opportunities that are out there, good jobs definitely exist. They're paying exactly what you guys may need in order to sustain your family. So go for it.
I'll just add, agreed. Good jobs definitely exist. And my main point is you have to align yourself to get the good jobs. You cannot, go to an interview or see these jobs and say what you want to get paid that's above the skill set that you truly have. Do you have any kind of training, certification, degree, etc., to get those good jobs? So that's kind of just my summary for it.
Now here's one somewhat controversial because I know we have a contingent of our society, and I'm so glad we have them, that will say racism is everywhere. There's nothing we can do about it. It's overwhelming. And don't get me wrong, as an African-American man, I understand it, whether it's being stopped by the police, being followed at the grocery store, whether it's being discounted on what I can bring to the table. At the same time, once again, Katrina, Courtney, is racism, and Courtney, if you don't mind if I start with you, is racism, I know it's a barrier, but in this time that we live in, is it as big of a barrier that some of us perceive to be, especially those who are just trying to struggle and just trying to make ends meet?
Racism still exists, as you stated, but you cannot put racism as your personal barrier, because it will, deter you from being motivated from jobs. And if you have that as your focal point only, then you're not going to take those risks. You're not going to take the opportunities. So you have to be open enough to know and be prepared for those things, So are you taking diversity classes? Are you with a company that, as Katrina said, you may see on some of their sites or some of their initiatives now, where they have, diversity efforts that are, on their forefront, where maybe these employers are educating themselves. We're working with a lot of employers now where that's actually a layer that we touch on for JobUp with the employers that we serve. So the racism, it does exist, but again, you have to know, how can you handle these things? And are you positioning yourselves? It's kind of part of your own growth, not to just say take anything, but again, just knowing what can you handle and how to handle things, because you might be that only Black or brown person on a job. Does that make you quit? Or does that make you do better? Does that make you not have any reason for them to target you because you're doing your job so well? So just kind of that plan of it, so it doesn't become, that headache for you.
And I want to go back to your statement of be bold, because I think that this is one of those areas when you think of this. I have had people who have come into certain businesses in the Menomonee Valley and state that they don't see people who look like them. So it is true. You may see that at some of our companies. However, most of our companies are looking at how to build diversity and inclusion, opportunities, looking at how to make engagement different at their companies. And it may take you as that person who's saying, this is the career pathway that I want, and I may end up being the only Black or brown individual that's at this company, but I see that they're looking at wanting to make change, and I see a pathway for myself that can be laid here. So it's that opportunity to be bold, to make that step, to say this is what you want as far as a career goal, but to also know that racism isn't keeping you away from it. It's yourself and your inability to say, I don't see myself, so I don't want to connect. Where instead of saying, I see myself here in this career pathway, and I will be that person that others can see in order to bring more individuals like me here. So I don't want to say that, racism is just I've heard that racism is keeping people away from getting jobs, but it right now is just not that time. And companies are more open than ever before to try to make sure that people feel like they are a part of the company. And that's at all levels, from entry level to professional. So yeah, want to make sure that people do understand that this is the time to be bold.
All right, now I would add before we move on, I agree with everything you're saying. I just want to add to it, Katrina and Courtney. I know I'm been a part. They've pulled me in a part of these diversity, equity, and inclusion groups I'm a part of. There's a number of social justice programming. We know CEOs across the country are making commitments to see more Black and brown people, and there's diversity in the boardrooms and the C-suites in just about every area of company. So I think that's really important.
Yeah,
Now,
CEOs reached out to us to actually state just that we, Menomonee Valley, can you assist us with creating opportunities for engagement that we can recruit and bring more Black and brown audiences into our employers? This is one of those programs that we're looking at saying, this is a great way to actually pull them and then bring them. The reason it's called JobUp is to get you into the entry level position, but the goal is within 2 years in order to give you an upskilling ability so that you are in this middle management area, helping to diversify the workforce. So that's the overall goal of the program. And we need those who are willing to be bold to say, this is the step that I want to make for myself.
So good to hear. I'm going to keep moving this train forward here. Courtney, I want to go to you. MATC and the brand, sometimes if those of us who are Milwaukee natives or Wisconsinites, sometimes we might say, hey, that's for the technical positions. I'm not really interested in doing a technical. I'm not going to be a plumber, electrician, or carpenter person, but a carpentry person. There goes my language. Talk to us about that, Courtney. What's up?
So MATC is definitely Milwaukee area technical college. However, we are a community college, and we offer many pathways, many programs and offerings beyond things like you mentioned, the trades. We have things, accounting, paralegal, banking and finance, event management. We have hotel and hospitality. We're very big on our healthcare arena as well. So we have a very nice nursing program. People are here for our dental hygiene, anesthesia program, and more. So we have manufacturing. There's also a lot of people don't know that we are connected with the local PBS station. The tapings are right here on our campus. So there are a plethora of areas that people can come for. And again, what we offer are associate degrees, technical programs, certifications, diplomas, and more. So those programs can lead to jobs in that field. It can start you off in that field, and then perhaps you continue to further your education. We also have partnerships with universities that will allow those smooth transfers as well. So definitely more than you can imagine. I always tell people there's something for everyone here. If they visit our site, you will be able to see many of the programs and more.
And then I want to go, Katrina, I want to go to you on this last myth before we move on to just the convenience of living and working in the community. Black and brown audiences are now welcome in middle management. Now, we know we kind of talked about this already, but from your perspective as working with, leading in the efforts of the business improvement district that is solely business, no residents, how would you feel about this myth about Black and brown audiences or people aren't really welcome to middle management?
No, I mean, and again, it's one of the, like you said, it's a myth, and I would definitely say that is not true with the companies that are within the Menomonee Valley. Again, it's one of the things that they're not able to find the individuals who want to be in the role, so they're looking for them. And so if they make themselves known and available, there's the opportunities do exist. So we're looking at how, again, that we can get those individuals through this program. And that's not, let me take it back of saying that we're just looking at them that can start at entry level and move up. you can be at any level. It's one of those things of, especially if you are individuals who are currently working in the Menomonee Valley and living within the Near West Side Partners area, and you hear about this program and you're like, you know what, I have an interest, then go to your job and talk to your managers or HR. And, those individuals can reach out to me and talk with me. And that could be a thing of upskilling you from the current position you're in into a higher position. So this, it works a variety of different ways, but our goal is to get Black and brown individuals into some of these management roles. And we wouldn't be able to do that if companies weren't poised and ready to make that happen. And again, you will see Black and brown individuals in some of our companies, but again, it is definitely a goal that our CEOs are stating, this is what we want to see. And we're working on that collectively.
Okay, I just want to make a few comments as we wrap this up about really living and working in the community. But I would say, Courtney and Katrina, I'm going to hand it over to you after I make these comments, because if you can get some key wrap-up points, it's just about, once again, what we've talked about. I'd love to take those wrap-up points and send them out to others so they're a bit aware of them. But for me, as the executive director of the Near West Side Partners and bid manager for Business Improvement District number 10, living and working in the community is so valuable. What does it mean? It means convenience. That means many of us who may have children or may have obligations, and it's difficult because we live in multi-generational homes. Being able to live and work cuts back on commuting time, allows us to get where we need to get and still be able to show up to work, be able to get home quicker, be able to get to work quicker. All that is so valuable. And I just see that is really what makes could be helpful in making a community. The other thing is just transportation in general. It costs, whether you have a car, whether you have public transportation, you got to put gas in that car, you got to get the bus tickets, and your time is money, and money is time. And having to spend an hour, 2 hours on a bus or 1 or 2 hours in a car, it's just not worth it. We live in Milwaukee. I'm no shade against my other larger markets like Chicago, LA, New York. There's no reason why you should spend 2 or 3 hours for bus travel in Milwaukee. Jobs are available right where you live. And the other thing is that as far as employees in the community, people to have employees in the community is so important, because those are the voices, the people that make the community what it is. They spend dollars in that community, they work in that community, they identify that community, they buy homes in that community. So there's a whole ecosystem of being able to have people who live and work in the community that they reside. It's just so much value. It adds dollars to the local community. So those local businesses who want to thrive, Daddy's Soul Food, Chicolo Steakhouse, the Ambassador Hotel, they thrive with those local dollars. So for me, those are really key areas on when we think about people living and working where they are. We want to focus on it, and this is the opportunity to do that because we're in a different new world we're in. Katrina, if you don't mind, I'm gonna start off with you, and then Courtney, you'll wrap us up. Katrina, give us your elevator speech, your last few minutes of what you would say as far as encouraging our residents, encouraging others to really take advantage of this opportunity.
Again, you guys, I'm going to first of all start off with the website again, thevalleymke.org. And again, if you go to that Work Here tab is where you're going to find a listing of all of our businesses, and you can click into there to find out all the different job opportunities. The opportunities and career pathways are endless. And so there's, so many different offerings that are there, but also through this partnership, you're able to, again, create a career path, not just get a job. So think about it in that format, that you're looking to lay a career path. So you're looking at where you can start, how you can go ahead and get your credentials that you need in order to move up. And I do know that awareness is a really big thing. And many of the things that you just stated, many of those residents that are within your neighborhood don't realize that these opportunities are right near them and are traveling to Sussex and Waukesha and things like that, trying to Uber to get to work. And I remember having a conversation with one of your residents who said that they were working at a meat packaging plant that was an hour and a half of commute every day. And I had said, do you realize that right in the valley, you have Cargill, you have, some other, you have Palermo's, you have a lot of different, food processing companies that your skill set could meet. So definitely look at it from that standpoint. But again, that this is going to help you, JobUp is going to help you build a career pathway and not just a job.
Courtney, as far as your wrap up, what would you give our residents, those who are living in the community, what would you share with them about JobUp and just in general? So like kind of like the nugget. So if they want more, they can go back and take a look what we spoke about.
Yes, definitely. Again, it kind of summarizes everything we were saying today, taking advantage of these opportunities to live and work in your community. I know for me, commutes to work are important nowadays, so maybe if that is something that's important to you, look at these opportunities. Like Katrina said, a lot of people have gone and thought, again, this might be one of the myths, that the better jobs are in the outskirts. So this is about letting people know what's near them. A lot of people are not always aware. Again, who would have known that there were, 75 plus employers in Menomonee Valley? So you definitely have some options. You also, taking that option to go to school. So ideally, we would love to have, residents who decided, I want to work with one of these companies. They're connecting with Katrina, who then connects them with us. They're now enrolling in school. And ideally, the perfect story is someone who does that, but then we help them get, in with the Promise program if they qualify. And now you're going to school for free as well. So a lot of programs just to help you. And then also making sure that as a student, this program, JobUp Milwaukee, is giving you skills before you graduate. So even once you do this, one of the things that I tell, students is, whether you're doing an internship or cooperative education like this, it's really important because a lot of times people do, you get your degree, you graduate and you're happy. Now it's competition because there are a lot of people looking for those same jobs just as you. But if you have some skills and things on your resume now, or you've kind of got your foot in the door with an employer like one of these in this neighborhood, you're a plus, that helps you out in that job search and that job market. So these are all the things that we looked at when creating this program, and just so that it becomes a whole package deal for people. So we definitely look forward to, if you're a current student, reach out to me. I host information sessions and let you know what employers are hiring. If you're a resident, reach out to Keith, Katrina. They will let you know about the opportunities and then how to connect with us. We are looking to grow this program for, residents in Milwaukee area, and then the current students that we serve, and most importantly, to bring some good talent to the employers in Menomonee Valley and more.
Katrina, Courtney, it's been an honor to be able to talk with you guys. I'm really excited about this because I think as we get beyond the pandemic, those who invest in themselves, invest in who they are, invest in their career, invest in their education are going to go far. Because at some point, we got to get back to a sense of reality. It may not be what it was pre-pandemic, but we're going to get back to where people need to be making some money to handle paying their bills. And most of these government programs will dry up. So, I mean, it's been an honor to be able to discuss that with you. And I'm hoping that people can take this information and move forward with it. With that said, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, Courtney, Kelly from JobUp at MATC. Thank you, Katrina Crane from Menomonee Valley Partners. And we look forward to seeing you guys reaching out to these folks so we can get some money and get some real jobs here. Thank you.
Welcome to Near West Side, Milwaukee's finest community. A great place for you and your family to learn and grow, to have stability. And truly the love the people. We strive to have the best place to live, to learn, to love. So we are called the neighborhood of neighborhoods. Please follow, like, and subscribe.